was going to ask me about it again when I saw him here today. The simple fact is we have made this a priority. We are going to get the resources to the people of North Carolina that are necessary. We recognize that frankly, that we needed the new leadership to hasten that delivery of resources to the people of North Carolina. A lot of people in the media have said that the reason why we made a change at DHS is because the Trump administration is backing off of its illegal immigration enforcement policy. That couldn't be further from the truth. The reason that we're making this change is because Kristi Noem has a great opportunity to serve in this new Shield of the Americas position. I think she's going to do a great job. And on the other hand, we think it's useful to have somebody come in and focus on some of this disaster relief and recovery stuff, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But I appreciate Michael bringing that to my attention, and I appreciate all the great people that represent North Carolina, even many Republicans, okay, who you might think, just because they're politically aligned, trust me, to all the people, I want them to know that even, maybe especially the people who are politically aligned, are more willing to be independent and more willing to tell us we got to quicken those resources to the people of North Carolina. I admire them for their courage, and it's going to mean better results for the people in this district. Thank you. Why don't we take one more question?
Mr. Vice President, Preston Mizell with Fox News Digital. I want to ask you real quick, you're leading the anti-fraud task force. I wanted to get a quick update on that, maybe some of the findings that you've found in Minnesota, but also you've mentioned before that you're interested in targeting other states as part of that task force. Are there other states that you've looked at, or that you may have flagged for potential fraud?
Well, we know there's a lot of fraud in California, and we're trying to get to the bottom of exactly what it looks like. And what we've done in the Trump administration, and the president has really empowered us to do this, is to take the first national look at the way the American people have been defrauded over many, many years. And I'll give you a few very concrete examples. So in the state of Minnesota, you asked about Minnesota. We think that there's probably been $19 billion at least of fraud just committed in Minneapolis and the surrounding areas. Let me give you an example of this, because it's not just the American people being defrauded. It's not just your tax dollars that are being stolen out of your wallet and given to fraudsters. It's the fact that the services we need to deliver to needy people are not getting delivered because they're going to fraudsters. So for example, there's a program that we have, and I believe it's under Medicaid, where we try to help kids who have autism, Asperger's, and so forth. Sometimes they need a little extra help. Sometimes they need somebody to sit with them after school. Sometimes they need somebody to provide transportation to certain places. And we have a program within Medicaid to ensure that these needy kids get the resources that they need. And it's one of the things, by the way, I love about the United States of America. We want everybody to work hard. We want everybody to play by the rules, but if we've got a needy kid in our community, we're not going to let that person fall down on their own. All Americans are going to lift that kid up together. That's an amazing thing about our country. But you know what was happening for this program that was meant to help needy kids is you would have Somali fraudsters, many of them illegal immigrants, who would go and say that they had an autistic kid even though they didn't. They would collect that money for themselves. You had businesses that were going around and rewarding families for engaging in this fraud, so the businesses were skimming off the top and getting rich in the process. How disgraceful is it that Democrats allowed a program that was meant to help needy American children to go to Somali illegal aliens? The President of the United States stopped it, and there's a lot more fraud beyond that we're going to stop as well. The one last point that I'll make here before we have to hit the road is, I hate to say this, and it's been shocking to me as we've gotten in this, and we want to, frankly, we want to arrest the people who engaged in criminal fraud. We want to make sure that the people who did this stuff realize there are serious consequences for it happening. We want to make sure that the needy kids all across our communities get what they need. There are so many layers to this anti-fraud initiative that the President has directed the administration to focus on. But you know what's so crazy about this? That nobody until Donald J. Trump thought to focus on it. Now, I obviously love the President, I admire the President, but this fraud was staring us in the face and nobody was doing anything about it. This is not rocket science. When you have a Somali fraudster come into the United States illegally and then set up a school to collect tax dollars. And the name of the school is the Quality Learning Center. but when they put the sign up, they take the N out, so it says Quality Leering Center. And that group, the Quality Leering Center, I don't know about you, but I don't want to send my kids to a school where they can't spell learn. That group was getting millions of dollars from the American taxpayer. There is so much fraud in our system. There are illegal aliens who shouldn't be here, who are on Medicaid. There are companies that are set up to provide medical devices, you know, knee joints and hip joints and other medical devices that are necessary for people's health, that have collected hundreds of millions of dollars and have produced precisely 0 medical devices that have helped our people. This stuff has been going on forever, and every single person in this audience should be scandalized by it. But here's the crazy thing. It's not that all of you are scandalized that you're getting stolen from. The crazy thing is that we had a Democratic leadership who didn't do anything about it. And so here is what I promise every single person here, every single person watching, every single person in the state of North Carolina, that we are done allowing you to be stolen from. We are done allowing you to be defrauded. We are going to go after the fraud, and we are going to rebuild the American dream by making sure that it goes to Americans first and Americans only. God bless you all.